Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, the Philippine government says it is doing everything it can to bring home safely the Filipino seafarers seized by Yemen's Houthi rebels in the Red Sea. Israel agrees to a hostage deal with Hamas, giving hope to Philippine authorities to finally locate the two missing Filipinos feared to be among those held by the Palestinian militant group. Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Eduardo de Vega joins us in the program. And more lawmakers urge the Marcos administration to cooperate with the International Criminal Court's drug war probe. House Committee on Human Rights Chairperson Benny Abante tells us more later in the show. Israel and Hamas have reached a deal for a 4-day pause in fighting and the release of hostages held by the Palestinian militant group in Gaza. The humanitarian truce beginning Friday will allow the release of at least 50 women and children. The Israeli military says Hamas is holding over 200 hostages, including foreign nationals. The Philippines Foreign Affairs Department previously said 2 Filipinos reported missing are believed to be in the hands of Hamas. Also, President Bongbong Marcos says the government is doing everything to rescue the 17 Filipino seafarers held hostage in the Red Sea. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Eduardo de Vega. Usec de Vega, welcome to the source, sir. And as always, thank you for your time.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, Usec, let me start first with the 17 seafarers taken hostage by the Houthi rebels aboard their ship. Any information on how they're doing?
Well, the positive news is that all indications are that they are safe and are not being physically harmed. In fact, at least one has been able to contact his family. Of course, we can't reveal as many details as we would like to in order to protect them as well. No? However, yes, they're being held. There's 17 of them. And DMW is in touch with their families to assure them that everything's being done.
But it is the DMW that has, DMV rather, that has jurisdiction over seafarers. Is that correct, sir?
Correct. Assisting seafarers is primary jurisdiction of DMW, but the DFA comes in for the political angle. In this case, talking to governments. And we are talking to governments. We have been talking to governments to see how we could reach the rebels.
Yeah, that's actually my next question. Any progress on the talks? Because DFA spokesperson Ambassador Daza was saying that the government is making diplomatic representations.
Well, the only indication, yes, the rebels are saying that, well, for now, that the issue is the Israeli occupation of Gaza or the Israeli attack on Gaza. And they're linking into that. So, I think it's quite connected to what's happening, and there is positive news on the other end.
Yeah.
So we are hoping that there will be positive news as well on this end.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hold my peace.
I'm sorry, Usec. What were the last words you said?
Other than that, I'll have to hold my peace, but I'll hear you out.
All right. I guess just for, looking back and for the sake of context, it is the Houthi rebels that previously warned that ships owned and or operated by Israel will be their target. There is a question on this. I don't know if you can help us, Usec, because apparently, from my understanding, this is British registered and operated by the Japanese. I guess, is there any more information you can share about that?
I can share that the shipping industry is aware of who owns what. And there's always ships being operated by one country while owned by a citizen by another country.
Right. The
The Japanese are actively also assisting in contacting the rebels and, of course, the manning agency, because in this case, the manning agency is primarily responsible for the uh, for their seafarers, and in many cases, usually when seafarers are taken, they ask for ransom. Not the case here. It's an issue of politics, so it's very sensitive. However, we have reassured, the president's reassured the families or the public that we will do what we can. We do have a record in the past of being able to rescue or get our seafarers who have been hostage free. So we will do it.
And maybe just to summarize that, Usec, during the start of the interview, you were saying that if there's any good news at all, is that all 17 are good. They are okay.
They're all right. The ship is around 25 or so crewmen, and 2/3 are Filipino.
Yeah.
So other governments are also
Right.
working.
Yeah,
So
I think the total, no, Usec,
other-
is about 21, 21 crew members.
more than 21. It's more than 21, about 25.
All right, let's shift to Gaza. Usec, there's an agreement already reached between Israel and Hamas for it's a 4-day truce, where the agreement is that 50 hostages will be released, that aid will be able to enter Gaza, and also the release of 150 Palestinian prisoners. When exactly will the truce begin?
That's Thursday a.m., 10 a.m. Israel time, which is 4 p.m. today. So, there was an initial question on what time it would begin, but it appears to be set at 10 a.m. And that's for 4 days. The way we look at it in relation to the first news item is that this should be a positive development, which may lead to the Houthi rebels agreeing to release hostages. We hope that will be the case. And now, of course, a truce, which would lead to saving lives, is always positive.
Right. So again, it starts at 4 p.m. today, Thursday, Manila time.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And any update, Usec, on the 2 missing Filipinos still?
I just came from Israel. What I noticed is that while we are assuming that they are both hostages, it's the male's name which is shown among pictures of those taken hostage, meaning it appears more definite that the male is a hostage. Female, as for the female, we're not sure. We assume she's missing and taken hostage. We hope that's the case rather than her being among those who died in the October 7 attack. As I mentioned before, they are still checking the DNA. Now, we have informed the Israelis, and they are aware of it, that certainly if there's a hostage deal, we would like the Filipino hostages or hostage to be among those released quicker. But of course, the emphasis is on women and children and Israeli nationals. So let us see, because if it works, and let's hope, let's pray that it works between both sides, it could continue beyond 4 days. Eventually, other hostages, if our Filipinos are not included among the first batches, eventually other hostages could be released because of this truce. And again, Israel knows our position in it. So, and we are also talking to governments about it. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
Right. This will be, I guess, quite difficult in terms of who will be the first batch to be released. My understanding, Usec, is that it's a 4-day truce wherein more or less, please correct me if I'm wrong, about 10 hostages will be released in a span of 4 days, which could actually increase or even extend.
Yes, it will be in batches of 10. The idea is up to 50. But what we are aware of is that they will emphasize women and children first.
Yeah.
And there's no indication that foreign nationals, except maybe dual U.S. Israeli nationals, will be included. But it would still be a positive step. It also shows that the hostages are alive, or otherwise Hamas would not be making this deal. So there's hope for our kababayans.
That's true. Because of this truce, it cements that idea or solidifies that idea that the hostages are still alive. But there are also reports that they're keeping about 200 hostages.
249, in fact, it may be 250, because one of the hostages apparently gave birth. So the newborn baby is a hostage as well. So at the rate of 50, that's only 1/5 of the hostages. Nevertheless, hope springs eternal. We did not expect,
Yeah.
I think you would have seen this, Webb, we did not expect the two sides to reach a truce of as long as 4 days, where the Israelis would not be bombarding Gaza as they have been. And so any positive development is appreciated. And we also thank the work of other governments, such as the Qatari government,
Right.
for having mediated this, and we're still in touch with them.
Yeah. Pivotal role played by the Qatari government in this truce or the ceasefire. So we start today. It starts today at Tuesday, rather, at 4 p.m. I'm sure we will continue to
Thursday.
get up.
Yes, today is Thursday, 4 p.m. And if it works well for the first day, the second day, then we're hoping it continues and continues. Of course, the Israelis have indicated that their target is still the elimination of Hamas. That complicates things, of course. But so far, I'm sure on the ground, the Hamas people would prefer, whatever the end goal is, that there is no attack on them or on Gaza targets. So, let us keep a guarded optimism. And again, I relate it to the first issue.
Yes.
It should do some positive news if it works out, because the Houthi rebels have assured, from what we understand, they have spoken to the crewmen who were taken of all countries, including from the Philippines, to assure them that they are, well, so-called guests, that they will not be harmed. So it's time for diplomacy to work, and let's hope it works, and we'll do our part.
DFA Undersecretary Eduardo de Vega, sir, thank you so much for your time. Take care, sir. And calls for the Marcos administration to cooperate with the ICC's probe into the Duterte drug war snowball in Congress. We'll speak to House Committee on Human Rights Chairperson Benny Abante about this when we return. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned.